regional institutions and the potential for leveraging human capital to achieve sustainable development and stability. This next question that I'm about to ask, it would be good if the Executive Director of Intergovernmental Authority on IGAD responds to it. Because how can regional cooperation and institutions like IGAD effectively address the underlying drivers of conflict in the Horn of Africa?
Thank you very much. Just to follow up what the State Minister of Republic of Somalia has said, I also want to commend the role of Turkey, which really has culminated the tension between the two sisterly countries. And I want to note very important key points about mediation. We are doing a lot of mediations in all areas. For the key for mediation is a trust. And there should be no conflict of interest, because the mediation of Turkey in that specific tension has culminated with success because of the trust that country have with the region, and specifically with these two countries. IGAD as a regional organization has mediated a lot of list of conflicts in the region, including the South Sudan, Somalia before, and also now we are trying to mediate the challenges that we are facing. Number one, we have a mechanism which is very clear and an architecture of the IGAD mechanism that is conflict and early warning system that we have. We try to alert the member states before something is happening, especially in the border areas. The second point is the Center for Excellence of Countering Extremism, which is we work on the uses, which are very much susceptible for any kind of extreme activities. As you know that most of the people from the region and from the continent is used, and also from that most of them, they doesn't have job, that they are vulnerable for any kind of extremist activities which may culminate to the fall. So the other one is coordinating with multilateral institutions and member states as well, which we are working. So these are the mechanisms that we were doing as IGAD to support the mediation efforts of the member states, because we represent our member states.
What opportunities, because parties are talking about strengthening this institution, strengthening IGAD, strengthening the African Union, but what opportunities exist for fostering regional integration, interdependency, and connectivity, and how can other regional actors support this entire process?
It's a very important point that we have a challenge now that I want to stress. Definitely, these regional mechanisms, continental mechanisms, have their own deficits, challenges. But when we talk about the resolving the conflicts, is competing with other mediators is a challenge. For example, I mentioned earlier the role of Turkey, which was very much closely working with us to resolve this, to diffuse this tension. But in some of the challenges that we are facing in the region, IGAD, African Union, it's very difficult to compete with other mechanisms. It should work a complementarity here. Complementarity on the mission and vision, and complementarity to resolve the things in spite of all, the interests. The point that you have mentioned here, that region is highly interconnected with a very big porous boundary, with the same community, and with the same challenges that the region is facing. So we cannot, resolve a problem of a country, or we cannot confine ourselves in a given country. That challenge is interdependent. For example, the Sudanese issue is now, it's not only a Sudanese. It's a regional, a continental, and beyond. So the South Sudan, the challenge that we are facing in Somalia, the challenge we are facing, there is a coordination mechanism that will support to tackle these challenges. Rather, if we compete upon these things, it is going to be a divergence of interests, which will harm the activities and these things. So there is a platform, there is architecture there, and also, as we are working with African Union, the United Nations, and other multilateral institutions, and our friends from out of the region, like Turkey and European Union and others, that the coordination is the key word to resolve, and the regional and continental mechanisms are there to do so.
Dear panelists and participants, thank you so much for this English and fruitful discussion. It was very timely. And Turkey is seen a trusted and reliable partner and actor in the Horn of Africa, in the region, and also not just for Horn of Africa, also in the Africa, as we see at the Ankara process and after the Ankara Declaration. And its role in Somalia and mediation between Somalia shows this clearly. And Turkey support peace, build schools, hospitals, and listen to local people. Turkey takes its power from the ground, not just from the governments. So, and also, as you mentioned, about the IGAD, IGAD is also doing important work. Early warning system is very important and very crucial. So, how can we make sure regional strategies focus more on people on the ground in the region, not just for the power? And how Turkey can help turn this to real action on the ground? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tunç. We have run out of time. I'll ask anyone from the panel who would like to respond to that question.
About the issue of the grassroots community. Yeah, it's a very critical point that all the panelists has mentioned this thing, the role of the youth, which is 70% of the, in terms of number, and most of them have a problem of employment. The second one is empowering the woman. So when we talk about actual empowerment in the grassroots, we should talk about these things. So to reach out to the community in the grassroots level, this is the place to work in coordinated efforts. Either the national governments, regional multilateral organizations, international partners like the World Food Program and others. This is a place that we have to intervene. This is a place that really we have to change the scenarios that we are facing and to avoid any bad recruitment to this. For that, we need institutions, very important institutions, the government institutions, civil society institutions, which will help that empowerment. So these are some of the things that I have to mention.
Thank you, Workneh Gebeyehu, Executive Secretary, Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD. Thank you for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Feel free to leave as you go for the next session. My name is Brenda Zedaradido from TRT World.